Those of you who are familiar with my videos will know I spent the lockdown months of November and December developing my small 2.75 metre F-rib inflatable into a sailing boat. Initially I didn't want to spend much money on the project until I was satisfied it would be a suitable sailor. Loch trials proved my idea was sound, so I spent some money on purchasing a sail for a topper dinghy and some wood for a decent lee board. This is the result and I'm delighted with it. I lopped the top off the traditional triangular topper sail and used it as a jib, simply because I didn't want a tall mast which would result in a tipsy boat and more stress on rigging stays. And even though I say so myself, I think it certainly looks the part. This video illustrates how it performed on its first day, so you can decide for yourself. I went to Loch for its trials, as it is in my local area, so I wasn't contravening lockdown rules. It can be a pretty bleak loch due to its size, but I chose it as I was aware I could also use an internal combustion outboard in this loch, and that proved a big plus on the day. I launched from the lay-by off the A85 between Loch Head and St Fillan's. It was a bitter cold day, so I only spent half the day in the water, covering around 7 or 8 miles. Keen to try out the new rig, I arrived at the lay-by for 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the 21st of December, which was the winter solstice day. A cold west wind blew down the loch from Loch Head as I unloaded the boat from the car in almost darkness. However, the morning soon brightened to match my mood as I readied the guppy on the cold loch shore. I initially decided to only use the mainsail as there were strong gusts of wind coming down the loch. I secured the new lee board to the boat's bench seat. As the sun tinged the clouds crimson, I set off. I soon found out that although it had been gusting in the dark while I set up the boat, and there was a wave in the water, the wind started to dry up as I left land. I was happy I was moving, and I loved the feeling of bobbing around in a wee boat in the water. The sail formed nicely with no wrinkles, my only regret being that I didn't rig the jib to assist power the boat in the light winds. The robust lee board fixture gave me confidence it could handle some heavy weather, and we seemed to be sailing well up into wind. I tacked back and forth a couple of times and realised that it would be a long, slow haul to reach Loch Head, where the wind was coming from. So I decided to go back to the car and get the jib, plus my Mariner 3.3 two-stroke outboard. It only weighs 12 kilograms, so very easy to carry and also store on the boat floor when not in use. The outboard is my auxiliary engine used on the bigger Quicksilver boat, and as its tank was full of 18-month-old pre-mixed fuel, I was keen to use it up. It started and ran with no problems even with the old fuel. It's much lighter than the Guppy's normal 6 horsepower 4-stroke outboard, and as it would struggle to get the sailing rig on the plane, I'm as well using the 3.3 horsepower at displacement speeds. The speed suits the style of motor sailing, and as the lochs are not huge distances anyway, I can still cover the ground well. My only real issue with the outboard is the noise. and the fact that I miss travelling only feet from the banking as I do when rowing. However, on a bitter cold December day, it is certainly a very welcome way to go the 4 miles heading straight into the wind. As I approached Loch village, the wind died completely and the waters calmed. Withdrawals from my morning coffee fix forced me to land on a little stone beach on the village edge. As there were few inspirational views to look at as I slurped my hot coffee, I admired my handiwork instead. Then unfurled the colourful sails and stowed the outboard in preparation for the wind-generated journey back to the car. It was slow going at first, and I think it's the first time the guppy has ever been overtaken by ducks, but the sail did seem more efficient than the last affair. Slowly but surely I started to gain some forward speed, despite the shortage of wind. And slowly I was overtaking the ducks, which now realised they would need to fly to overtake me. Especially as I had now goose-winged the jib, and angled the lee board so it wasn't running so deep. I find the silence of sailing extremely satisfying and relaxing. The gurgling of the water running round the hull was now becoming music to my ears. And the further down the loch I went, the boat became faster and the music louder. I finally felt I was really sailing. My patience of playing with an idea, trialling it and experimenting it had now paid off. I am now the proud owner of a very versatile inflatable motor sailor, and I know I'm going to have a lot of fun in it exploring the larger freshwater lochs of Scotland. Thanks for watching.